cool stuff that's happened in my life was, crazy things that I pursued. My senior design project, we built a suck and blow system for a guy who was a quadriplegic. He'd been a world-class water skier and had fallen out of a tree stand while he was hunting, broke his neck, and so his only thing he wanted to do in life was to get back in the boat and drive his boat around on the lake. And so they brought in our senior design team, and so we took his boat and outfitted it so he could use a suck and blow system to drive his boat. And so as a senior in college, it was awesome. I mean, to take this guy and get him on the boat and see his response to getting to drive a boat on the water, and we were out there at like 5 o'clock in the morning because we didn't want anybody else to be on the lake when he was doing it. And now as a parent of like teenagers looking back on that, I thought that was probably one of the dumbest things ever, to have like 3 college kids and a quadriplegic driving around on a lake in North Georgia. It was a real, that was one of those moments where it like all came together for me. But I just really enjoyed that experience. And so I thought I was going back to do maybe orthopedics or rehab medicine or something like that when I went to medical school. But then I got the chance to work with kids and found out that my developmental age was about 6. And so I just clicked, and then kids get better. That was to be able to hang out with just these amazingly resilient people who had tons of energy and just wanted to get better so they could like play again was just extremely gratifying. And so that's kind of the awesome, good, and horrible thing of pediatrics is that, when it's good, it is really good. When you have a little 2-year-old who was scared to death of you 6 months ago, who comes in and has been talking for 2 weeks about going to see Dr. Coffman, and is just so overjoyed to see you and give you a hug and let you talk to her, and it just doesn't get any better than that. I mean, really all you have when you show up each day is to do the best by yourself and by the kids that you hang out with. If you're showing up every day that people are going to pat you on the back or be happy, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. My favorite project that I've ever done, my oldest, Mary Grace, has a little bit of trouble with, she's a mild reading issue, so she's never liked reading. Librarians and the library at her elementary school were really important, special places to her. So when she was about 7, we had a friend, and her name is Cherian. So she's from Nigeria. She came to the United States to go to school. So we had supported her for years, and so she was here visiting. Was stopped in Chattanooga while she was going around raising money for her program in Nigeria. And so Mary Grace was 7, and we were at dinner one night, and so Mary Grace asked Chi, so tell me about your school. How many kids are at your school? And so Chi said, well, there's 300 kids at her school. And so Mary Grace says, what's the playground like? And she said, well, we don't have a playground. She said, well, what's your computer lab like? She said, well, we don't have a computer lab. She's like, well, what's your library like? And she goes, well, we don't have a library. And so Mary Grace by that time was just pissed. She was like, I can't believe that you don't have a library. Like, you got to have a library. And so she and her little buddies started this club called the World Girls. And so they started collecting books. So she came to me, she wanted to collect books to send to Chi to have a library at her school. And so her little friends went home and got their books together. It's like they had about 50 books. And I thought, this is doable. We'll box these up and we'll make the effort to ship them over to Chi, and it'll cost, several $100s, but it's worth it that my 7-8-year-old is fired up about helping people in other parts of the world. So then she said, well, Dad, we were thinking, like, could we send a flyer out to the kids at school, like get the principal to send it home in the backpack and they can bring books in. I said, it doesn't hurt to ask, you can ask. So all of a sudden these books start coming in, like boxes of books. So by the end of that summer, she had 12,000 books collected. And they're everywhere. So I rent this storage unit, and so I'm thinking, like, now what do you do? And so I thought, well, we could build a library in a shipping container. So I ran this by Mary Grace. She thought it was great. And so she sat down and she designed out, like with crayons, this library. And so we spent a whole summer building this library in a shipping container. And the outside of it just looked like crap. So she got all of her friends to come down one day, and they got spray paint and they doodled all over the outside. And it was beautiful. It was perfect. So we shipped it, and is now at Chi's school in in Nigeria. It's the Mary Grace Library. Someday we want to get over and see, but don't be afraid to really take some risks and go after what you're passionate about, what you enjoy. Don't be afraid to try to make your life perfect, but when it doesn't end up that way, enjoy the process. I think enjoying the journey. You know, when mistakes happen, you know, if you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. So I think, you know, just really not being afraid to live your life fully. Like, enjoy the really cool times, the fun times. Really live the rough times, the hard times. Like, don't be afraid to get in and let yourself feel those. But to me, that's the best part of life. Is that pretty good?
Yeah. Thank you. That was awesome.